Hi, welcome to The Truth of Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
And this is special guest Tom Linnell, live in person in the Chudner True studio.
Good job,
What's
Tom.
Up, Tom?
Clap it up for Tom.
Thank you guys very much for having me. It's a great honor to be here.
Awesome.
So,
thanks.
we're just going to play. I just threw this on the guys. We're going to play a quick game here. Hopefully the audio is okay. We're really just kind of figuring it out here. Our producer is out of town for a bit. All of our staff is missing. So we're just making it work. We're going to play a game. I just told you guys that we're playing a game. I haven't told the game. The game is called Get to Know Tom.
That's a great game.
Which is just a great game.
Have you met my friend Tom?
So here's what we're going to do. I tried to compile some of Tom's greatest accomplishments in his life. So I'll just... Wexa volleyball champ, I think 2020. Was that when we won?
2020.
2020, right.
So we won volleyball. Me and Tom, I kind of carried him, but we won.
So that would have been when I was in grade 12 and you were in grade 11.
Correct.
Holy Names High School.
Yeah. Yep.
He can be killed by a peanut. Fun fact about Tom. So I hope you guys
that's good to know.
So don't have peanuts if you're listening to the show.
No
Another
peanuts.
fact. Tom Linnell, 3-time NRL MVP, among other league accolades.
Wow, that's huge. You're going to need to get another hand.
He works as a flower boy at a nursery right now. That's true.
Provincial?
Provincial nursery, yeah. More than a flower boy, I guess you could kind of say trees are also involved, but sure.
He's a tree man, like Tree Rollins.
Right.
Very similar to Tree Rollins.
Right.
He collects license plates. Fun fact about Tom there.
Yeah, that's just weird.
And then to add on to that, Tom has a very good collection of shirts from various schools in the greater Windsor, Essex area. Tom, do you have anything
That
to
is
share?
true. That is true. I do have quite a few shirts from other schools in the district, like you said. So I think I have a Kingsville one. I have a St. Anne's shirt. And this is all collected from my years of high school volleyball, which you were obviously a part of. But yeah, I got a few of those. And the license plate thing, basically every state that I've been to, I do have a license plate to show that I've been there. Kind of recollect that I've been to those places.
Are they hot? Like, what, do you just steal them off cars?
No. Like, there's actually, like, most store. I think every city that I've been to would have a store that is selling that city's license plate.
Okay.
Right? So that's where
Another fact, he is a longtime friend to me, but sometimes we're not friends. We just went on a little stretch where
Last week we weren't friends for
5 days.
about 5 days, yeah.
We're going to push the NRL discussion to later in the show.
And this is another fact. If I had a daughter, I would let Tom date my daughter if she was of age.
Yeah. Shout out, that's a huge shout out to Jim Houlihan, high school volleyball coach, yeah.
That was his line, and I just wanted to bring that back. His nickname is also Crispy T, is what we call him, among other things, cracker, vanilla, etc. But that's Tom Linnell.
That's also related to Mr. Houlihan and the volleyball team from high school.
The Crispy T one, not the cracker and vanilla.
Right, not, yeah.
Is that kind of like Mayo and Get Hard?
Yes.
Very similar.
So now everyone knows Tom. If you're on Spotify or Apple Pod, you might want to just check the YouTube.
Check us out on YouTube because we look sharp. 3 suit jackets, 3 nice pocket squares. We're ready to roll. Let's jump into our intro.
Go ahead.
Episode number 68, Jaromir Jagr, greatest 68 of all time.
Big episode.
As we talked about, Tom Linnell here. We're going to do a franchise NBA draft. We're going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. They dropped their last episode today, and we were all able to watch it. And then a little bit of NRL discussion later on. Okay, off the top. Ready to go, fellas?
Ready to go.
Perfect. It's the odd time in the world of sports, right? No football. Basketball's done, but huge draft talk. We'll get to that in a minute. Hockey winding down. Tigers suck so bad.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. So just prior to recording, our man Jason texted me, Jerami Grant is no longer Piston. They traded him to Portland. It's essentially a future move and to free up cap space. Right now, this move on its own, but I'm excited because I think it's going to open up some cap space. Fellas, what's your initial reaction?
Tom, you go first.
So my first thought is them clearing up a spot potentially in the starting 5 for Keegan Murray. Maybe looking at the best forward on the board. I always thought, I know you guys talked about last episode, I was thinking they were going to go for Jaden Ivey or Shaden Sharp, but this trade kind of changes my perspective on it a little bit.
As a Pistons fan, right now, I'm super upset, even though this means Ayton, and I'm a very big Ayton guy. I was very pro-trade Grant, and now he's traded, and I'm like, this is all we got? We cleared some cap space. And look, who knows? By the time we're done recording, maybe they have signed Ayton and traded up to 4. Who knows, right? But as of right now, I'm pretty upset. I want to trust Troy Weaver. But
Trust in Troy. Does Ayton trust Troy?
Probably.
Okay, so then I trust him, so we're good.
It's upsetting for the time being. I just want to put... I'm upset.
Okay. quick Tiger talk. Riley Green, he is the man.
He's my boy.
Pretty much everybody else sucks. Miggy's pretty decent. It's just bad. NBA trades are starting to roll in. Kyrie on the block. Guys, how much trade value does Kyrie have?
More than Westbrook.
I was going to say more than Westbrook for sure.
I have more, you guys have more trade value than Westbrook, so that's not a fair comparison.
Okay, if he gets traded, I'll just put this out there. If Kyrie gets traded, where does he go? Tom?
The Knicks are an option. The Clippers, I've heard, are an option. So I don't know who you put on the board there. If you put
Clippers, I think it's got to be Clippers, and it's got to be 4 quarters for $1. They're going to pick up 4 wings,
so,
right? Because they're not going to trade PG or Kawhi, are they?
Right.
Like
well, it's
Powell.
like Reggie Jackson, you might throw in there or something like.
Terrence Mann, they seem to have just an infinite supply of wings.
Every trade that I've seen with the Lakers involves Westbrook. I guess you can kind of assume that. I don't know what else you put in there because I don't know how much higher they see Kyrie's value to be over Westbrook.
Just a quick piece to this. People are saying Westbrook, Kyrie, trade, blah, blah. That doesn't talk about... Okay, everyone's like, oh my God, Kyrie LeBron, Kyrie LeBron. That would put Russell Westbrook with Kevin Durant. Like, that would send him to Brooklyn playing next to KD. That's
No
not going
way
to
it's
happen.
gonna. That's just chatter.
So if you think about that, you're like, oh, maybe... Oh, wait, Kevin Durant's on Brooklyn? Yeah, that's not happening. So
Kevin Durant is the only person that Brooklyn Nets have to keep happy.
Right.
Steve Nash, a little? A little Steve Nash?
He's coach. They don't worry about keeping the
I
coach
like
happy.
Steve Nash. Okay, fine.
I like Steve Nash too.
I'm a big
but
Steve Nash
they're not
fan as
worried
well,
about keeping
yeah,
him happy. Okay, keep it moving. MLB, do they start to roll out a juice box? A juice ball right now?
In the rotation. I actually believe like some balls are juiced, some aren't.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
That's how Grossman got a couple of dingers?
Yeah.
Okay. Tampa Bay Lightning, falling apart at the wrong time.
No one
but
cares.
Not done yet. You know what? I got to give Stevie Y credit because he built this team. Okay, this is a controversial subject. We're going to touch on it briefly.
Uh-oh.
The FINA decision to ban transgender female athletes. Comments?
That's
Put you on the spot, Tom.
Yeah, it's putting me on the spot. It's hard to say.
Can I give you a hint?
Yeah.
In the media world, like we're so well known.
Oh no.
No comment.
I'm gonna say no comment past
Yeah.
Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah, for those
No comment.
for
But
those-
Isaac, we understand you have a take.
for
Please.
those for those listening, I haven't left the studio. I just have not said a word. No comment. No comment. Keep it
Okay,
moving.
keep it moving. Anything else off the top? Tom, what do you got?
Rob Gronkowski retired after I guess his second retirement now.
It's big news.
He now leads Tom Brady in retirements 2-1. Stay tuned for that series because that'll go back and forth. I think a little bit more.
Okay. Isaac, anything off the top?
No. I
Want to jump right into the franchise draft?
yeah. I'll actually Tom. You set the table for the people. Dad, try to figure out how you're gonna roster a team.
Okay.
So basically, our idea is an NBA franchise draft, so a fantasy draft, and I believe we're including potential draft picks. So, you know, the new guys, Jabari Smith, Paulo Banchero, all those guys are fair game for this. So basically, you're picking from any NBA player available, any potential draft pick available. We're gonna go in a certain order. I think we're gonna do a snake draft,
Yeah.
10, 12 rounds. We figured that out yet?
Oh, good question. I'll go 12.
I'm good with 12.
Okay.
I've got more depth than you do for sure.
So everyone's a free
Tom, I'm
agent.
not sure he's got a lot of knowledge.
Everybody's a free agent. So like, Luka's on the board, Curry's on the board, Durant's on the board, LeBron's on the board.
About the only thing that's relevant is age, right? LeBron theoretically would be a probably not a first round draft pick, but probably a second round draft pick. But he's 47 years old, so he might be a 7th or 8th round pick.
Age is big. Money's not a factor here.
Money's
Let's
not
just
a
say
factor.
everyone's on the vet's minimum, and we're just gonna make this work for fun. So
What's the vex minimum?
So we're
6.6.
basically looking at win now mode, but also kind of paying attention on the future, basically.
Yeah, you probably need to mix in a veteran or two, but that's just my draft strategy.
yeah, okay, yeah, you don't want to just have rookies unless you're just gonna win right now. But okay, that aside, how should we determine the order? So Tom, should we let Tom pick where he goes in the draft?
No, Tom determines the order.
Okay, Tom, determine the order.
How about we start with Tal and go this way?
So I
That
go
sounds good to
last?
me.
Yep. And then, but you get the snake, so you got the 2.
Okay.
So you have 3 and 4.
Crap.
Okay, well, this is a pretty easy start for me.
That's
First of all, thanks very much. Great idea. Obviously, I have to go with a guy who has the most potential to win now, and he's young, and he's freaking super pumped. Greek Freak, first off the board.
he is second on my board.
Really? You're picking Luka. But Tom's probably going to pick Luka.
I am going to pick Luka. I think he might even have potential to be greater than Giannis at some point in his career. Obviously, he's got a tough start going with the Mavericks, but he's putting the team on his back, so I'm going to go with him. I think he's got potential to be the best player in the league.
Good comments. The only thing that stopped me from putting Luka ahead was just some of the physical stuff that I don't know about.
Right, that's fair, yeah.
So you put me in a tough spot here, so I'm actually going to have to go off of my draft board a little bit, and I'm just going to screw both of you. So I'm going to pick Nikola Jokic, and then I'm going to pick Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
so
I thought you were going to do that.
I'm doubling up on the bigs. You guys can have all your little, whoever you want, but no one is stopping my
Guess
bigs.
what? In the future, it's 5-0, so this isn't... I'm not worried about it.
Well, Jokic honestly might be my point guard, so those are my two right now.
Okay.
Okay, so back to me.
Very good.
For this one, I'm in a tough spot now. You definitely did screw me over a little bit here. Screw both of us over.
That's a great one. That's a good strategy.
Thank you. I'm proud of that.
I think I'm going to mix in a vet early on, and I'm going to take Kevin Durant with this one.
Full disclosure, I had KD circled, but now I have to mix things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So obviously I started with 25-year-old Greek Freak. Is that how old he is?
27, yeah.
27. Okay, so I have to go a little younger at this point, and this is where it starts to get interesting. So many good guys on the board. I had my top 5 ranked, and then I had a whole bunch of people in that second category. Again, this is going to be a little bit controversial here, but I'm going with Booker.
Wow. Okay, so...
But I have one more pick.
Oh,
right.
Shoot, I'm not up. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Keep going. Oh, also, hopefully you can hear everybody. I know I said that. Just turn your volume up and respectfully.
Okay. So Booker, my next pick is also controversial just because he is a racist, but Jason Tatum.
I don't think Tatum is racist.
You don't think so?
Maybe half of him. I think he just experiences racism.
He experiences racism. He's a victim of racism.
Maybe slightly controversial pick based on his recent finals performance, but I think it's a good pick.
He's probably a top 5 talent. See, Tatum can't be the number 1, but on this team, he's my 3rd guy.
Right. This next one, I'm going to go young again. I think I'm going to take a facilitator, can score the ball. I'm going to take Ja Morant with this one.
Okay, great pick.
That's a really good pick. He was actually next on my board. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting out a couple people here.
Yeah, I see 2, and I'm going to highlight both of them and see if I'm accurate.
Okay, I don't care how old this guy is. He can play until he's 45, Steph Curry.
Good one.
Right?
Good pick.
I can, depending on who I draft in the later rounds, I can move Curry to, actually, you know what? How about we just use you as Ray Allen? Right? So, Steph Curry, I'm going to have here.
You think he would stick to that role? You think he would accept that role?
Dude.
Steph Curry? Oh, yeah. Ultimate role player.
Best teammate of all time.
He came off the bench in the playoffs for a long time.
Yeah, good point. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go with this guy is just skyrocketing on my favorite players list. He's 20 years old. Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
Is that who you both thought I was taking?
That's
yep.
Your dad called it right away.
Sold
yeah.
on Ant-Man.
And entertainment value, like your season ticket prices are going to be huge because he's maybe the funnest player in the NBA to watch.
And if you haven't watched Hustle, I'll say it again. Hustle is so good. Tom, did you watch it?
I watched it.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah, so good.
Loved it. Okay, so we each have 4 players right now, Zach? Or no? You have 3.
I have 3. Do you have 4?
You should have 3.
I have 3, yeah.
Tal should have 3.
I have 3.
Okay, let's go through so that people can visualize. Tal, who do you got?
I have Giannis, Tatum, and Booker at this point.
Okay, lots of good dribbling there.
I have Luka, Kevin Durant, and Ja Morant.
Man, that's scary.
Luka, Kevin Durant, Ja Morant. That's some athletes.
Scary. I have Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Jokic, and Embiid is my 4.
Right. Twin Towers, yeah.
Okay, so how about wings? You're like small and big.
So, Tom, you're up.
Okay.
Did you just pick? No, after. Hang on. Coming back this way.
This way, yeah. Okay, tough spot. I might go slightly controversial on this one. I think he has potential to be, role player wise, I don't think he'll be a top 5 player at any point in his career, but I think he will be a huge piece on a potential finals winning team. Not necessarily the team he's on right now, but I'm going to say Evan Mobley.
See, I like Mobley in this type of draft. I think that's too early.
Considering you took both the 2 best bigs available,
I forgot.
I did have to reach a bit. Yeah, I did have to reach a bit.
So in that case, really good pick, Tom. I have a better team. Tal, I think that was a good pick.
I actually do think it was a good pick.
Now looking at it, like the bigs are limited, right? That's why Andre Drummond got
what
third
happens
team
is
all
the first 2 bigs, and then there's a gap between the further bigs, and I have Mobley listed as a 4.
Yeah.
But he probably could play stretch
He can
five.
He can play the 5. Yeah, I think
he's going to have a tough time guarding Embiid or Jokic. But
I think he's obviously he's a slightly raw. But I think he's already at the point where he can be a huge player on it. And the Cavaliers were a surprising team this year, and he was obviously a huge part of that.
Year, I think.
There was a point where I thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year. You were against it, obviously Pistons bias, but I was under the impression that he was going to win and I'm a Raptors fan, right? So. But yeah, I think he'll be a great player eventually.
He's 21. I like him a lot. He's the future of the NBA. He's Chet, right? Him and Chet, lots of similarities.
Yeah, lots of similarities there for sure.
Tal.
So I need a point guard, and obviously I'm going to pick our guy who's right behind us.
Good for you.
Cade Cunningham goes off the board. I don't think it's too early for Cade, especially in this format. Score at all 3 levels. He can facilitate. He can obviously switch and guard just about everybody on the floor. So go with Cade. And then now I'm picking another Swiss Army knife kind of guy who, when healthy, top 5 player in the draft.
Oh, I know yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yep. And I actually had Kawhi a wee bit earlier. Like I had him rated higher, but he fell to me now, so I'm pretty happy with my 5 that I've got so far. I'm a little tight on size.
Something that I like to think about when doing this type of thing is you have to have teammates that are going to be able to play in a team like this.
Yeah,
right?
if anybody picks James Harden, like we're just going to laugh. Because he's a terrible teammate.
Like Cade?
Like, doesn't Harden get picked last in the NBA stuff?
I feel, yeah.
In the All-Star draft.
Him and Gobert were the two.
Yeah.
So
there was a joke. There was kind of like a joke about that when LeBron was picking. Remember in the All-Star draft? And Harden,
right after some trade?
Yeah.
And LeBron like put his clipboard up to his face and laughed
at
it? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, back to me. This could be controversial. I'm going to take him pretty much solely based off how he played in the finals, and I'm going to take Jaylen Brown.
Ooh, okay.
Because I need that. I need that forward position.
So he's like a 2, maybe a 3, depending on things.
Right.
And obviously he's not allowed to dribble on your team.
Right. I think on my team he would be more of a 3, less ball because I have Luka and Ja, so he would probably push that 3 spot.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I just got a couple guys.
Yeah. When you said finals performance, I got really scared because I thought you were taking Jimmy Butler. So I can take Jimmy here, and it's certainly not a reach. I don't think, right?
The reason I didn't take Jimmy is solely based off of age.
He's playing until he's 50.
He's a tough dude, but
yeah.
He's been beaten up a lot.
You can only go so far. Like it's.
I don't think this is. Jimmy's 32. I don't think this is a reach taking him here at all.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So I now have a starting 5. Curry, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid.
Okay, good.
Tom?
So I have Luka, John Morant, Kevin Durant, Jaylen Brown, and Evan Mobley.
Okay. I have Cade as my point guard, Booker, Kawhi, Tatum, and Giannis. Obviously, this is not big. I still need to get a little bit more size, but in terms of wing players, I have the best team on paper.
My team is small as well, for sure.
My team.
But in terms of isolation scoring, I think my team dominates.
So I'm going to take a pick here, and I didn't want him in my starting lineup, but I'm happy having him as my 6th man, Anthony Davis. I like AD here for sure.
Yeah, I like AD.
People forget this guy was like awesome when he's healthy, and that's why I didn't want him starting, because I'm going to have to figure out my bench guys. AD is totally fine coming off the bench here if I have him. And then let's say...
I had AD pretty high.
So I'm taking Anthony Davis here, and then you guys have no size. So AD.
Okay, back to me. This one I'm going to add some size. Young player. Potentially might be a Piston by the end of the year. I'm taking DeAndre Ayton.
Okay, very nice.
Ayton's a good pick there.
So I had 2 guys that I had to pick. Obviously, I needed big at this point. I had Ayton ranked a little bit higher than the guy that I've got here. I'm not picking Gobert because I hate him. Even though you could justify him in this format. I'm also going to pass on the other Heat. And I'm going to go with Jared Allen because I think Jared Allen next year will probably be similar to Bam, but in the future he'll be better than Bam. So I'm going with Allen.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And also he can guard some of Isaac's bigs.
I like Jared Allen a lot, so that's a good pick.
Rudy Gobert is very unlikable. Respectfully, he's very unlikable.
Disrespectfully.
Disrespectfully. Okay, we're back to me. So...
How did you get 2?
Oh, no, you didn't get 2, sorry.
Cheater.
Yeah.
Fraud.
So I still need another guy here.
Yeah.
So, again, this is where it gets interesting because there's lots of good talent out there and there's nobody that stands out to me. I could go early and pick Chuck Daly as a coach, but we didn't say we were going to do that, so I'll save Chuck Daly for later in the draft.
Okay. He's also passed away, correct?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
but again, there's lots of good stuff about Chuck Daly. Whew. So tough right now. I think I have to go with Jamal Murray because I need a little bit of Canadian content, and he can shoot the lights out.
Bubble Jamal Murray was a different breed.
Unbelievable.
I drafted Bubble Jamal Murray.
There's a couple guards that I actually would have taken ahead of Jamal Murray, but I won't say their names.
But you can't go off the the bubble for that.
Like
Trae
Trae
Young, go
Young,
ahead.
Dame Lillard, they're good, but
Neither of those were two of the names I'm thinking. Tom, go ahead. Let's see if you pull one of my names.
I think I might be able to, but this is tough. Okay, I was gonna go with a guy that could score, but I'm gonna go with an all-around guy now. He's gonna come off the bench. It's my time. I'm taking DeJounte Murray.
oh, interesting.
Really good. I really like him. I didn't have him this high on my board.
I think if he's on a different team, he thrives. If you give him a player that can score, then he thrives.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's a good pick. I like it.
So I've got two here. I'll just say one of them. One of them is certainly. Do you want to talk about Canadian guys? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, I had Shea pretty high too. He's solid.
He's 23. And
Great all-around player. He's bigger. He can probably defend 1 to 4. I like Shea.
So I have SGA here now. Now there's not a lot of good bigs or even like bigger power forward guys. At least I find looking at the board. I don't know about you guys. There's a lot of guards that are like staring at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Donovan Mitchell here. I think this is good value here for D Mitch.
I think D Mitch is good.
He's 25. I get
those
Mitch.
guys like I don't think it's a secret to say guys like Lillard and Beal that are pretty solid.
I just age and are they gonna win? I think D Mitch is gonna win more than both of those guys. So I got Mitchell here.
Okay. Another slightly controversial pick. When he's healthy, I think he might eventually be a top 15 player in the league. I'm going to go with Zion here.
Okay.
Oh my God, how did he fall?
Just based off of how good I think he could be.
I
There's obviously the weight
had
problems.
him in my top 15, so right around now.
Man, good pick, dude. Yeah, that's a good pick.
And I think I'm 8 picks in now, right? So
I'm 8 as well. So yeah, he's picking.
I have
8 now.
7. I'm going to pick 2 more. Actually, I'm surprised this guy fell a lot. I think it's because he's been injured a lot, but I got to go with PG at this point.
Good pick.
I had him high as well, yeah.
I just think he's a good all-around player, and in this format, he's good because he can play really tough D on the wing, and he can guard a lot of guys. So I've got a fair amount of options here in terms of pick. I could still go little. I could still go big. As Isaac said, I don't think the bigs are jumping out at me at this point. There's a lot of good guys, but nobody who's great. So I don't love him in my top 5. I don't even think I love him in my top 7. But he can make stuff happen, and I need a villain. So I'm going with Trae Young.
Oof.
I like it. I like that pick.
Wait, who has Luka?
I do.
Okay.
Trae was the guy that I was going to take in the spot that I took DeJounte Murray, but I kind of looked at it when I have a guy like Luka, I have a guy like Ja.
Yep.
Might not be necessary.
I need another point guard. Red Cade is going to need a break every now and then, and Murray, although he can play point, isn't great at it.
Right. Okay, back to me. Isaac's not going to like this. Tal, I don't know if you're going to like this one either. He's still there. I'm going to take LeBron because he's still there. It's just...
Good for chemistry.
I took
LeBron who?
LeBron James.
Oh,
you guys might know.
I've heard of him. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good
not my GOAT. That's a separate
I
conversation.
did not
but
have him in my top 15, but I had him right after that. So I think it's a good pick.
So there's a couple guys I didn't even put on my board because I knew I wasn't going to take them. Trae Young, LeBron James, Rudy Gobert, a few of those guys. I've got 2 here, correct?
Yep.
I got to go with Zach LaVine here. I think he fell. He's 27. I'm going to get a lot out of him. Like, if I ever have him and Anthony Edwards on the court at the same time, like, it's stupid.
Now, I have a question for this. So, in terms of lineup, so I took LeBron with my 9th pick, whatever. I can insert him in my starting 5, right? That's allowed?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Next year, he's probably relevant.
I don't got a lot of years left with him, but I'm going to... Okay, anyways.
I'm going to go with another guy here. Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
I like B.I. here.
He was high on me.
I think if he ever gets some help or a good team, and I think actually New Orleans is like a sneaky team that I like next year, Ingram is really, really good, and he's such a tough cover. So I'm going to go LaVine and Ingram here, 2 tough guys to start in the half court.
Okay. Back to me. Since I didn't take Trey, I'm going to need to get some scoring off the bench. I'm going to go with Bradley Beal here, just because I like Beal a lot.
Yeah, good pick.
I don't like that pick.
Can you elaborate why you don't like that pick?
About Beal?
Yeah.
I kind of said I don't think he's a winner. Now, look, if he gets traded to Miami in 2 weeks, I'm going to think Beal is the best player in the league. But I just don't think...
I was really hoping he was going to end up in Toronto back, but yeah, I think he's a great player.
Well, the Toronto thing I see, right? Like when Kawhi left, they need a guy. Beal's been flirting about leaving for literally 5 years.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple young guys that I would have taken a shot on ahead of Beal. Like, honestly, Jalen Green. I don't like Jalen Green. Is he just going to be younger, more athletic, Bradley Beal? Like, I don't think he's going to be as good of a shooter as Beal is currently. But I just think,
you didn't have Green on your board, did you?
No. That's why I didn't have Beal. I just don't like those scoring punks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. That's a stupid pick, Tom. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to do an all-star right now. And I think this is a pretty easy pick, Chris Middleton. I'm actually a little surprised he fell.
How old is he? He's actually probably not as old as I think.
He's probably 30.
No way.
I think he's
she's
30 now.
27. Not that old. We'll check in a second.
Yeah.
And now it's time to go into the future a little bit. And there's a couple of guys that I really like in this year's draft in terms of their long-term future. I'm having difficulty deciding between the two that I like most.
Okay, well, you do that. Chris Middleton is 30 years old, so...
Ooh, 30 years old.
So Tom
That's
wins
okay.
that one.
But
turning 31.
Okay. Still my oldest guy, and he's going to be solid for a few more years. I need a couple of vets, and he's a good off-the-bench scorer. So, again, I just picked Chris Middleton, and then my next guy that I'm going to go with, I already have a lot of young athletic dudes, so I'm going to go with the big freaky-looking guy. I'm going with Chet at this point. It's a bit of a stretch, but I think he's going to develop into something special.
You didn't think that like 2 weeks ago when we talked about Chet.
I've done a bit of research. I've talked to my folks. I got a lot of feedback from Deo and Evan. They gave me lots of good feedback, and there's good reports on Chet.
People are like, if you put 50 pounds on him, he's going to be so good. And I
don't
actually...
know. 20 pounds is all he needs.
And I like Chet as well. I like him third. I'm still taking Paulo and Jabari ahead of him.
Okay.
I'm gonna bounce out Tal's pick here. Because you took Chet, that kind of gives me the thought. I'm going to take Jabari here. Just because I like him a lot. I think he's got the body, the playing style to be a really great player.
Yeah,
he can shoot the lights out. So,
Yep.
So I'm going to take Jabari.
Carol, I want to play this game. So I'll take...
He's going to pick Jaden Ivey.
No, I'll take Bankero here.
Okay.
So
B, that's fair enough.
So Bankero would be my 11th guy. So I have one more pick and that's it, right?
Yep.
The heart problem's always concerned with him, or whatever he has going on, right? That's always concerned me.
That was freaky, and then I haven't read about it since, like, 4 months ago when it came out. Like, when he was at Duke.
But his heart rate gets like 220 or something?
And he, like,
and he loses all that weight, or whatever, yeah.
7 pounds a game, like, was the headline. So I have one pick here, so I can be dumb. Actually, I'm just going to throw out a bunch of names that I'm thinking of, and I'll get you guys some help.
Sure.
Scotty Barnes, Shaden Sharp, Tyrese Halliburton, Jaren Jackson Jr. I actually have...
I got him on my board. Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan?
So I have Jordan Poole staring at me in the face.
Oh, Jordan Poole! He would be a good bench guy.
And then I have, like, 15-year-old Shaden Sharp. I'm gonna go with Jordan Poole. I gotta go with my Michigan man.
Okay, fair enough.
Poole's my 12th guy, and he's perfect for, like, this type of off the bench thing. So that's my crew. I got my crew. That's a good team.
Okay.
You guys have one more?
Let's see.
One more, I think.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Okay. It's tough where I'm going to go in this spot. Yeah, a lot of guards staring me in the face. I'm going to go with my guy. I got to take a Raptor, so I'm going to take Scotty Barnes here. I know I just took Jabari, but I started off small. I'm going to build it up a bit.
Scotty's, like, I don't love Scotty. I think it's a good pick here just because of what it'll give you on defense.
Okay. Very interesting pick. Lots of great talent still on the board. I mean, we could keep going on and on here. So this is when I have to make a calculated decision. Theoretically, I could use another big, but in this future, I see less and less of that. And here's the thing. If for some reason Allen gets injured, I can always pick up a free agent like Bam or whatever.
Oh, no, there's no free agents allowed. I forgot to tell you.
No, that wasn't clarified. Doesn't really matter.
That wasn't clarified.
Because here's the other thing.
Sorry.
like Chet's going to put on 50 pounds. If Allen gets injured, then Chet's going to go on steroids and have to put on a
Who
lot of
has
weight.
Zion?
I have Zion.
If you guys can work out a Zion with Chet mutual friendship, where they can just like share meals with each other,
Yes,
but Zion's the only one that
That's a pretty
shares.
good idea.
That would be a good deal, yeah.
So I have to go with the future pick again here. You know, Damian Lillard, who is fun to watch. Jared Jackson also really good. But I think for the last pick in the draft, I have to go with the future Piston, Jaden Ivey.
I hope, dude.
I hope. That's why I picked him.
That would be nice for Detroit.
Oh, it'd be so good for
That would
Detroit.
be nice for Detroit.
Okay, so we're going to put these teams down on our Instagram page, and folks can comment on how good my team is. Now the other guys did okay, too. Any other comments on this?
This is a fun activity.
It is a good activity. Isaac, do you want to start? Do you want to just talk a little bit about how we started this thing?
Okay, sure. Alex and Lukey, my dogs, they're 9 and 11. They are, I don't even know.
Your cousins.
They're my cousins. 9 and 11, big basketball fans. I did this with them.
Shout out Roberto.
And they were 9 and 11 years old. And they did this, like, 36 players, naming good, like...
No.
I think I'm both DeJounte team, no prep. We just did it. And they, like, held their own. I think I had the best team, but I also think I had the best team.
It took me a while to figure it out. Like,
What
you and Alex's team, very close.
So I didn't tell, like, I showed a few people, and I didn't say whose team is who. And I just showed them. And they're like, okay, these two teams are really, really close. And
the third team is also pretty good.
And it was me and the 11-year-old team. Like, these kids did this like crazy, which kind of inspired this. We're going to try to have them on the show. So this is just a really fun activity, and one that you can just brag to your friends about being smarter about checking the time. Good one there on YouTube. That was beauty visual.
Yeah, good visual. 31 minutes, you want to go to YouTube.
I'll set up Kenobi.
Okay, go ahead.
So the Kenobi television show is finished at this point. We're going to talk spoilers. We all have various opinions and different takes to give. I'm gonna leave it to Tom. I'm just going to say there's going to be spoilers. We're going to talk about Kenobi. Tom, thoughts on the show?
As a whole, the show, I was not super impressed. They finished strong. The season finale I did like a lot. I think they kind of checked all the boxes they needed to at the end of it. The first 4 episodes really disappointed me. They were 5 and 6 I did like a lot. It was hard to see Obi-Wan kind of struggle to connect with the Force, all that stuff.
I call him Frady Cat Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So that was hard. I wanted to see more of Hayden Christensen. Totally. I wanted to hear more of him. They tried it with the flashbacks. I guess that one flashback, and I think it was the 4th episode.
I think 5.
Grandpa flashback?
Yeah.
That's called?
Yeah.
It was awful.
So I tried to like it. I want to see more of Ewan. I don't know if they're going to give us another season.
I don't think so.
I don't think so
Third
either.
sister?
Didn't like her at all.
Okay.
I didn't. That's just my opinion. I didn't think the character worked. She was too involved. They made the series, a lot about her.
I agree.
So her character is fine, whatever. Just the amount that she was involved in that show just didn't sit right with me. And that's my take on her.
Okay, Isaac, where do you want me to go?
You can get your poor takes out to the public.
Okay, so started off slow, finished pretty good. Frady Cat Obi-Wan I did not like, and I was disappointed. I'm glad to see he got his groove back. Now,
it was pretty sudden though. That he
it was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm a pathetic old man. I can do a couple things to, oh my god, I can move mountains.
Yeah.
Like it was a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
But he did finish strong. I liked the fight scene from today, other than the fact that it was too big a jump. Hayden, just bad. We'll move on from there.
Why
sister,
bad? Why
bad? I just didn't think they used him enough, and they couldn't figure out the makeup and the CGI stuff. Like, figure it out.
I agree.
You got $1 billion.
A few billion.
A few billion. Young Leia, she needs to get props. She was really good.
She was casted very well.
Leia was sick.
Casted very well. Rotten Tomatoes gave them 84% on the tomato meter and 62% average audience scores, which sounds about right to me, 62%. Like I'd give this a C. Like Liam Neeson, I'm glad they had him in, but they probably could have had him in for more than 4 seconds in a little sketchy video.
Yeah.
So overall, I think C is too low.
That's
I'd
really
give it,
low.
Yeah, I'd give it a B minus.
Okay. Tom, do you have a grade?
I'll I'll say a B.
Yeah,
A B. The way they finished, I guess they did eventually give me everything that I expected to see.
They cleaned it up and set it up well for New Hope.
I didn't like the show. I liked the first episode when it was slow and it was just Kenobi, like drinking that weird milk and eating the weird meat on Tatooine.
Yeah, working at the meat farm. Yeah,
that was the best part of the show. I thought. Here's my issue. There was no stakes. There's no stakes. Part of the show,
weird meat and steaks.
Yeah, no. Well, like here, no stakes. Meaning, oh my gosh, I wonder what's gonna happen to Luke. I think he'll be okay. What's gonna happen to Leia? She'll be okay. I can do this with like half the characters. That's your issue when you do a show like this. I thought it was pretty lame, and all my buddies think it's like the best thing ever. Look, there's going to be a lot of people, and usually I'm one of them, that are just blinded by it's Star Wars and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ewan McGregor. So people are going to be like, look at this, it's so cool. Look, it's Vader and Kenobi on screen, and people are going to like it just for that. And I get that. But I'm like, if there's no narrative purpose of why we're getting this, then why should I care? I thought a lot of it was forced and some cheap fan service. Like, how many times did they quote the prequels? In the last episode, he says, "Hello there." To
you didn't like that?
No, I did not like that. Wow.
I was hoping. So you know the point in Episode 6, Darth Vader's staying on top of the hole, the crevice that he threw Obi-Wan into. He could have used the high ground quote. He could have used it. It would have been great.
I would have.
But he didn't. They
eyes.
missed that one. Okay.
I thought the Inquisitors were awful. We all agree here. I thought
I don't understand them.
Yeah.
Because like people watch Rebels, the show for 8-year-olds that I liked a lot, and Tom liked it a lot as well.
The cartoon show?
It's pretty sick, actually. It's pretty good.
It's a cartoon.
It wasn't as good as the Clone Wars series.
The other baby.
Also a cartoon.
Yeah, but it was good for for a cartoon. It was good.
Okay.
Rebels is good. If you didn't watch Rebels, you have no idea what's up with these Inquisitors. Like, Dad, you have no idea.
No concept. That's why I said I didn't get them.
But that's what threw us off, because they broke canon as of episode one.
Yeah.
By killing the Grand Inquisitor, so that threw me off because like you said, the safety blanket.
Keep it moving about baby shows.
Well, the whole Inquisitors, I thought they're all terribly written. They were just like shouting bad guys. The fact that like there's some massive plot holes in this show that people are gonna ignore. If Vader knew that Reva wanted to kill him, why would he keep her alive? That doesn't make any sense. That just is so stupid.
That's one of the bigger things too. I think there's a lot of little things.
Obi-Wan?
Well, no, because when Reva turns on him, Vader's like, "You thought I didn't know you wanted to get me, youngling?" And then stabs her and doesn't kill her intentionally. If Vader knew that she wanted him dead, the second he knew that, he would have just killed her. He would have force choked her, and then that would have been it. Rather than this stupid keeping alive and just letting her get a spin-off show. I thought that was dumb. Another plot hole. There's some times where like Vader would stop. Like there was that one cool scene where he stopped the ship from taking off with the Force.
Yeah.
And then
ripping doors off of it and stuff.
That's what I wanted to see
They couldn't move the squishy doll.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, why don't you just do that again? Like it was just inconsistency.
The main thing that I expected before I saw the show was I expected to see a lot of Luke and I expected to see a lot of Obi-Wan, kind of watching over Luke, whatever. But the main thing I wanted to see was Darth Vader in his prime, right? Because we know that he was in his, but he was. I mean, the amount of Jedi he killed, right?
Thousands.
Like that we don't know about or that we haven't seen. I guess this is what I wanted to see. So we saw that in maybe one episode.
We see a little bit of.
Kind of got beat up a bit in 6, right? So
yeah.
We didn't really see Prime Vader very much at all. So that disappointed me.
Another big gripe I have with it is, if you're gonna do this type of show, you have to have like. Oh, that's why they did it. At the end of the show, I'm like, what did I gain from this?
Things up.
I didn't gain anything. Like it's just there, and it's always gonna be there, and it didn't add to the greater Star Wars universe. I didn't think it added anything. And then the Reva becoming good was just dumb. Like it just doesn't work. I don't think.
I agree.
I'm all for redemption arcs and bad guys becoming good when at the end of their lives and all this. Not if they kill like thousands of Jedis and then they want to be good. I actually buy Vader's redemption because they kind of set that up from the beginning and they're still good in him and I'm a Jedi like my father before me, like that. And I don't want to compare this to the original
You almost
trilogy.
think at times, like, I think there was a scene in Rebels when, he got his helmet sliced open, you could see his eye, it's like,
cool.
you could see...
They did that.
There might be
again
some good in
the
him,
show.
and then today, it's like, there might be some good in him, right? You hear Hayden actually talking for the 8 seconds that we got.
Actually, you know what? That brings me to something that I liked. when his mask was broken or his helmet was broken and his voice is cutting between the robot voice and the human voice.
That was pretty good.
That was just sick.
cool.
Like, I thought that was cool. And like you said, the Liam Neeson
I mean, he
bit-
should be dead, but that's besides the point.
No, I can buy that he'll live through that. He's got enough stuff hooked up to him. So, do you have any other thoughts before we talk about this and how it affects the greater Star Wars shows?
No. It's okay.
Does this touch Mando season 1 or 2?
No.
No, not even close. The one thing that my friend actually pointed out, so when Obi-Wan was on the Rebels, that ship, whatever, flying away, and Vader's ship is chasing after him,
Just so you know, producers are telling me we got to move along.
We're fine.
He goes and branches off, and then Vader says, chase after Obi-Wan and leave them. Why don't they send TIE fighters or something after that ship?
Oh,
Send something.
That was a huge plot hole.
There's
I had it
so
written
much.
down, but we need to move on.
Anyways.
The fans want to hear a bit of NRL talk.
No one cares about it. I would rather
Just
talk
so you
about
know,
Tom's stuff.
just so you know, we have the leading 2 vote getters in MVP for the NRL right here tonight.
We don't know that yet.
I know.
We haven't
My
done
people
votes
told
yet.
me.
Okay.
Team Tal Nation knows.
Okay, Mr. Producer, what do you want to talk about?
Okay.
We can't talk about
Tom wanted
Kenobi.
to talk a little bit more. Didn't you have a couple questions for us?
I did, not regarding NRL, but I did have kind of some side questions.
Kyle,
if
do
you
you
want.
want to talk about NRL or Tom's real questions?
Tom's real questions.
Good.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tom.
So this is kind of all over the place. I'm going to start with a kind of an it is an NBA related question. Most underrated player in the NBA. We'll start with Isaac, go.
Kate and Jimmy aren't involved because I'm going to say them. Actually, I'll go with the guy you talked about, DeJounte Murray. Okay. DeJounte Murray would probably be my pick. That's not like a super mainstream guy. DeJounte.
Okay, Tal?
Whew, that's a good question. I would have said up until about 2 weeks ago maybe Wiggins, but now I can't say him.
No way.
No, I'm just kidding. Because he got so much hype the last couple weeks. Underrated in the NBA, I'm going to say Garland.
Good pick.
I like that.
T, what do you got?
I'm going to go even smaller name. He kind of showed us a bit in the playoffs. I'm going to say Jalen Brunson. Just because of how far the Mavericks went. What was he averaging?
He won games without Luka.
How much was he averaging in the playoffs?
It was
18,
I just
19.
He might be underrated right now. But
I think
in a week.
DeJounte, after he got the All-Star nod, I think his reputation boosted a bit. So I think I'm going even lower than that, right?
Maybe Brunson's not underrated because I know he's about to get $27 million. So like when that happens, I won't buy the underrated. But right now, you're probably right. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
okay.
At this point in time, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the
I
league.
agree.
Next one. Gonna jump into football a bit. Cam Newton, Derrick Rose. So it's still a bit of basketball. Cam Newton, Derrick Rose. Are they Hall of Famers? Yes or no?
No and no.
Did Cam ever get his ring? No, right?
No.
He's got the MVP. I'll go
He's an
no
MVP?
with both.
So
Both.
the argument that needs to be made there is, does getting an MVP, is that automatically
If
get you
Rose
into the Hall
does
of
not
Fame?
make the Hall of Fame, he will be the first MVP to not be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
People really like Rose, so he might get a nod, even though I don't think he deserves it. Like, if I had a vote, I would say no.
Unless they make it like baseball and they let everybody in.
I agree with both of you guys. I say no and no.
Okay.
Okay, respect.
Good question.
Next one. Where does the Warriors dynasty rank amongst dynasties of all time in the NBA?
Do we count like the Celtics with Bill Russell?
Sure.
So the Celtics, Bill Russell is one dynasty and the Bird is the second dynasty.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't
Then
touch
the Lakers, Showtime,
It doesn't touch the original
Bad
Celtics.
Boys,
Okay, you go ahead.
Bulls,
It doesn't touch the Spurs.
5 maybe, 6.
Yeah, probably in that range. How many? 4 in 8 years, right? 4 rings in 8 years.
Yep.
That's sweet, but it's not. No one's touching Bill Russell Celtics. The Spurs dynasty lasts about 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll go. Yeah,
It
probably
was
5 or
spaced out
6.
quite a bit, the Spurs. But yeah, that's fair.
Maybe
I can agree
7.
with that.
Maybe
Although I hate
7.
to admit it, they'd be ahead of the Detroit teams.
Correct.
Right. Next one. Ideal NBA dunk contest. Current NBA players, because I think it's pretty predictable if you went all time. Current NBA players, quick run through your ideal dunk contest.
4 names.
Ant-Man first.
4 names.
4 names.
Ja, Zion, Ant-Man. Okay, those are my 3. Does anyone have a...
Hami.
No, not Hami.
Hami is sweet.
Actually, maybe someone I hate, just like Trae Young. Trae Young would be my 4th, just so I can watch him lose and get booed.
Can he dunk?
No, barely. Okay, so
So-
Ja, Ant-Man, Zion, and Trae Young.
Okay. Tal, do you want to go through yours?
So I've got Ant, Ja, Hami, and Jaden Ivey.
See, Ben Matherin.
So I was really considering putting Aaron Gordon and Zach Levine. I know they're probably both not at, or Aaron Gordon at least probably isn't at the prime
They
level
were
that he
both
was.
so sweet.
They were so. But if you put those two in a dunk contest now, the focus would only be on them. You would need to see those two in the final round.
Or you could just do just the next dunk contest, just those two. Don't even get the other two guys.
So, but my 4 was Ja, Ant-Man, Derek Jones Jr. That guy gets up.
Oh, he's sick.
Yeah.
Good shout.
And then Zion just to get the big guy in there. It gives me a Dwight Howard kind of dunk contest vibe.
Good questions.
Do you have one more?
I have one more. Biggest bust in sports, not just the NBA, sports history.
We talked about this a little bit.
Question.
Markelle Fultz is one that comes to mind recently. All time, it's got to be one of these. Was Jamarcus Russell the guy for the Raiders that just stunk?
Yeah,
That was my
Jamarcus
pick. Jamarcus Russell was my
and
guy.
Ryan Leaf are two names that pop into my head right away.
Who went ahead?
Bennett.
MJ. Was it Sam Bowie?
Sam Bowie.
God bless Sam
Bowie.
There was Michael
Hakeem
Olowokandi that
Olajuwon.
one year.
That
Kwame
Candy
Brown.
Man for the Clippers.
Yeah.
Kwame Brown's a funny one.
But like Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell hardly played.
Well, the Leaf one is bad because of Peyton, and that's why the Sam Bowie one is extra bad because of MJ. Mm-hmm. How about? Actually, I want to say Jalen Green, but no, not Jalen Green's gonna be good.
I said Jamarcus Russell just because the guy never showed that he wanted it. It's like he gets into the league, gets this money, and it looks like he's just done.
Didn't he just get fat?
Yeah, he put on a lot of weight, didn't show up to training camp. Yeah, that was my... I don't know how you could go into the league with that burden, with the city's burden on your back like that, and just not show up.
Look at you. Respect, huh?
Okay. Gentlemen, anything else?
No, I know you got to go somewhere, so say bye to the fans.
Hey, it's been a pleasure having you, Tom. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good job, Thomas.
Yeah,
Clap,
thank you guys for having me.
Clap, Tom. Clap.
Yeah, you kept us. We move at a pretty good pace, and you kept up well. It's good. And I think I'd like to commend myself for not talking while you guys were talking. I think you did a good job of that.
Other than the ums and the uhs and the occasional ear rape, good job.
A little bit of ear rape. Yeah, you know what? Fine. Just make sure people are awake.
Okay.
Okay, it's very, very important. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up in the future. We got a lot of guests that are lined up.
If you like Tom, we'll have him back.
Love to be back. It was great to be here.
Remy in this format is going to be a little bit different.
Why?
He talks more than me, and he is 2.5 times the size of Tom.
It's 2.5 Toms. Tom and I have a big basketball game tonight.
Hey, fellas.
I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody.
See you
Thanks.
guys.